The journey in space and time to one of the oldest countries of the world. Vincent Cronin left London in late winter with his wife Chantal to drive overland to Persia, where he planned to write a travel book. Delayed by snow in Yugoslavia and floods in Greece, they took 3 weeks to cover the 5,000 miles and reach their destination, the tribal areas of southern Persia. Here their task became harder, for this was to be no ordinary journey, but a struggle through dust and heat across hundreds of miles of near desert in quest of Persia's past. In their Hillman Minx convertible, the Cronins follow a rough desert highway into the heart of southern Persia. Here, the 20th century meets the age-old, the timeless, where men are still wanderers over the face of the earth. This tribe is now battling forward in its spring migration, from torrid plains near the Persian Gulf, through dust and sandstorms to the snowdrifts and sudden torrents of the mountains. In the autumn they will return, and this endless journey has continued since the dawn of time. The nomad's way of life was already old when Persia's civilization reached its first peak 2,500 years ago. This group of palaces, Persepolis, was capital of an empire extending from India to Greece. Only 13 of several hundred columns still stand, and the roofs, made of cedar from Lebanon, have long ago crumbled. But the imagination can picture the days when the great king, wearing purple robe and gold tiara, sat on his throne, receiving tribute from 23 subject nations. Friezes on the staircase leading to his throne preserve the past. Among the scenes, a lion devours a horse, and soldiers of the royal bodyguard carry spears and quivers full of arrows. Up these steps, tribute bearers carried priceless gifts and money to the king. Artists, too, came from all over the world to erect huge portals and carve them with scenes depicting the Persian king's power. Persepolis stood for less than 2 centuries before Alexander the Great burned it to the ground and seized its treasure. So fabulously rich that 10,000 mule carts and 3,000 camels were needed to haul it away. Persepolis fell, but Persia's tribes, unaffected by the disaster, continued their wandering life, still their own masters, proud of their hard-won independence. Year by year, they wage a continual battle against the elements, fighting their way to the mountains, where all through the dry summer they will find a trickle of water and a little brown grass. The Hillman Minx follows them across the stony waste land, covering in a day the distance a donkey takes 4 weeks to travel. At night, the nomads pitch their black square goat-hair tents. Not all can sleep, for their flocks must be guarded against the ever-waiting jackal and leopard. This is a dangerous life requiring heroic courage, cooperation and self-sacrifice from every man, woman and child. Always they must drive onward to the mountains, for the spring sun soon dries and withers the low-lying grass. But it is a free and healthy life, and one which the nomads would not change. The tribeswomen weave woolen clothes and turn the milk of sheep and goats into cheese, curds, and yogurt. Unlike the villagers, who cover their faces with a cotton shawl, tribeswomen go unveiled, but pride themselves on wearing 7 petticoats. Their religion permits Mohammedans to take 4 wives, but the Persian nomads observe strict monogamy. As in biblical times, the nomads are divided into tribes, and each tribe into sections of some 200 men. This is a headman of a section, responsible for their welfare and for collecting annual taxes paid to the central government. He is proud of his life, the restless life of Abel. Like all the tribesmen, he is a crack marksman with his rifle and can drop a running gazelle at 200 yards. Camels too take part in the journey, carrying tent poles and rugs. Delicate animals which must be carefully tended if they are to survive the rigorous march. But the tribesmen know how to treat them. Their fathers, through innumerable generations, have acquired an enviable skill in herbal medicine. And so the march continues. The spring migration in search of grass, not only in Persia, but across vast tracts of Western Asia, as far as the Lebanon, where the ruins of Baalbek bear witness to yet another civilization which has risen and fallen, whilst the simple nomad life remained unchanged. Baalbek was an important Roman colony of the 3rd century, where the sun god was worshipped in a magnificent temple. These ruins alone remain, tall columns to mark the furthest limits of Roman Caesar's power. Here the soil is orange-brown and rich enough to bear harvests of grapes, while the camels are fatter and more willing to let strangers ride them. Leaving their Hillman Minx for a break, the travellers try the nomad's way of life before resuming their journey through the past by car. Their next stage is Shiraz, capital of southern Persia. From Baalbek to Shiraz means a leap of 1,000 years, for this town reached its height in the 13th century, when Arabs from the lands around Baalbek had conquered Persia. Shiraz prides itself on being the birthplace of Persia's 2 greatest poets, Sa'di and Hafez. This mausoleum, domed in blue tiles, was recently erected to honor Sa'di, who died in 1291. His poems, still favorites with the Persians, are inscribed on the walls. Flowers in faience mosaic and in the garden keep fresh the poet's memory. Sa'di's poems praise the Persian rose, but it is difficult in this desert country to grow roses. Few are the wells, and long the labour of digging them. Water and oil, Persia's 2 most precious possessions, lie underground, but water wells are still worked in primitive fashion. Women who wash in a stream count themselves lucky. In towns, they have to use the roadside gullies. After a journey of 300 miles, this 17th century bridge leads us into the beautiful city of Isfahan. The inhabitants once boasted that Isfahan is half the world. Today, Eastern and Western worlds are inextricably mixed. Some still travel by horse and carriage, others in Isfahan's fleet of Hillman taxis, speeding across the rough stones which form the highways as we journey back to the past, when Shah Abbas, a contemporary of Queen Elizabeth I, built his 40-column palace. Without a wide pool of water, no rich Persian's house could be complete. Pillars and roof of the palace are of wood, and in one room walls and ceilings are made entirely of mirror mosaics. A similar palace overlooks the large square where Shah Abbas watched polo, a game which originated in Persia. Such periods of calm were rare in the city's history. When the citizens of Isfahan rose in revolt against Tamerlane in the 14th century, 70,000 were massacred and their heads built into a high tower on this same polo square. The glory of Isfahan lies in its mosques. This is the Friday Mosque, also built by Shah Abbas. The arched niches are characteristic of Persian architecture, and since Islam forbids representational art, flower designs and quotations from the Quran decorate the flat surfaces in a dozen shades of blue and yellow. A later building in the same style is Isfahan's Theological College, but here the niches are plastered, not tiled. Already the difficult art of tile making was falling into decline. Above the entrance, with its thick metalwork doors, rises the single dome, flanked by minarets, a rare oasis of blue, green and gold amid the desert sand. Plane trees shade a pool of water, where the faithful wash before prayer. Off the quadrangle are lecture rooms, where mothers instruct their students in the Quran. It is believed that colleges at Oxford and Cambridge were copied from Muslim originals like this. After prayer in the quiet precincts of the mosque, the men return to work in the bazaar. Here they colour calico by hand after it has been stamped into patterns with wooden blocks, and hammer metal bowls into 1,000 intricate shapes and patterns. Outside, on bare rock slopes, they lay carpets to dry, where the sun tones down the new gaudy colours. And here, fittingly, our journey draws to its close, with the carpets for which Persia is famous, a fragment to recall a civilization that has gone before.